Hi guys, welcome to this week's YouTube video. Please excuse, I've just got out the shower and something I really wanted to talk about. So you may have seen that, as happened multiple times in the past, my content has gone viral about immune systems preventing coronavirus. Now, I've not said that I've cured the coronavirus. I'm talking about the importance of health. Do you know what? That's something that should have always been at the forefront of our minds throughout our life, before, during and after this terrible disaster. I had to watch my nan pass away 3 years ago of a common cold, the flu. 1 minute she was absolutely fine, the next she was gone forever. No goodbye, no warning. You expect that people will live, that people will survive. But actually on a daily basis, people lose their lives over the smallest of things because of the immune system. My mum battled stage 3 bowel cancer, which was the scariest time to know that if she got a cold, a cough, a sneeze, anything, she had no immunity, she would die. It puts into perspective the importance of health. And because of that, I have campaigned tirelessly as a mother, as a personal trainer, a nutritionist, as a human being for health. Health. Now, a lot of people will turn to medication, as my poor nan did. She had high blood pressure. She had stomach ulcers. She was so heavily medicated for all of her ailments that the medication she took gave her further symptoms, made her sicker in other ways. And her quality of life was so constricted towards the end of her life. Something as simple as a common cold killed her because of her immune system being so low. Now I look at my grandfather, who fought in the war, has always been a very active man. His quality of life was severely different to my nan's. From her being overweight and being restricted to being in a chair, my granddad could still walk along the beach, could still ride a bike, could still carry heavy shopping. His quality of life was so much healthier. He ate good meals, he wasn't on medication, he is able to lead a normal life going out and about. He wasn't constricted his final years to a chair, to a mobility scooter, to a bed. Now we look at the quality of life and we have to take responsibility for our health, because health is the most important thing. When you have it, you don't realise you've got it. And as soon as it is gone, you will do anything in this world to get it back. When you watch loved ones come to the point of death and either pass away or recover, you realise just how important health is. I too have had battles with my health. I have lost my immune system. I've had my digestive system shut down. I've had hardened lymph nodes for over 2 years, and I have been tested for cancers and brain tumours. I've had cervical cells removed. I've been through so many sickening, horrendous things that I never chose to have, but I have recovered, and because of that, I take my health so seriously. So when I see things like the coronavirus, like diabetes, like heart disease, like obesity, these are all things that can be prevented through health. As a mother, as a woman, as a fitness professional, I feel it is my duty to share this with the world. Now, we have pills and potions for everything. Of course we do these days. But why? I mean, look at the monetary gain behind it. Look at the profits of pharmaceuticals. When there are all of these conspiracy theories about drugs that can cure cancer, but they won't mass produce them because they wouldn't make the profit of the treatments they give for cancer, of the chemotherapy and radiotherapy that they can charge far more for and make billions and billions of pounds for. You know, we look at alternative medicine and it's called this witchcraft. But actually years ago, before the pharmaceutical companies existed, you had natural remedies for everything. Old wives' tales, grandparents, mothers even, giving you hints and tips and recipes. Today we call them life hacks. And there's these videos that are 3 minutes long of showing people doing these really cool things with everyday items that you never thought possible. So what's wrong with alternative medicine? What is wrong with turning to nature for the answer? We look at our bodies and we were all built to be able to renew naturally without assistance. When we have a cough or a cold, our immune system overcomes it. And then we are cured. We have an antibody towards it. When we look at if we're injured, if we cut ourselves, if we fall, if we break something, our bones rebuild themselves, our bodies heal and skin regrows. The body is incredible and it is there to be natural. It's there to do the job for us. But where does it go wrong? When we fill our bodies with processed foods, that our arteries become clogged with fat and sugars and salt. When we overload our system with alcohol and drugs and poisonous substances. When we smoke and harden our lungs and we can no longer breathe and service our body with oxygen. All of these things we do to ourselves as humans. And we don't only do it to ourselves, we do it to the planet. You look at the oceans, you look at the rainforests, you look at the skies. We can't see the stars anymore for pollution. The fish are dying, the coral reef is no more. We look at the rivers and they run brown. There is rubbish everywhere. Disease and infections and illness. And what's causing it? We are, our choices. So what can we do about it? Look at Corona. Look at what it has done. How something that we should have been immune to, that we should have been strong enough and healthy enough to have fought, that never should have become a pandemic, is now stripping the world. How we are now quarantined and kept away from one another because we are so unhygienic and so dangerous to one another that we can't even be around other humans. We've destroyed the environment, we've destroyed wildlife, and now we're destroying each other. But do you know what? Everything in life happens for a reason. And when something bad happens to you, when you suffer, when you are heartbroken, when you are in pain, when you are sick, it is the universe's way of pushing you in a different direction, of saying to you, wake up, what you are doing is wrong, change. And we can all learn from this. The universe, the environment, the planet is saying, you are killing yourselves for no reason. You have everything you need to lead beautiful, healthy, happy, long, wonderful lives. Why destroy that? Why make it disposable? Why take away everything we are blessed with and then be ungrateful for it? Because people are now in quarantine, the infection is shrinking. We've got to the peak where everybody is sick, where people are dying and losing their lives. This happens on a daily basis, but it is never reported in the media. Because when it's reported, there is mass hysteria. Supermarkets are selling out of food, petrol stations will run dry, crime will be out of control. There will be nobody that can stop the mass hysteria. Because why? We panic. We're greedy, we're selfish. People stockpile, people take from others. People step on others' shoulders and heads to get above them. When we could all just help one another, love one another, be there for one another. You know, I was in a supermarket yesterday and I had a basket of shopping to feed my family, some vegetables. And as I'm unloading this, people have massive trolleys stacked with all these foods and non-perishables to survive a zombie apocalypse. And I'm there with just some fruit and vegetables in a basket. This gentleman was behind me. He must have been 84, 85 years old, and he was clutching a bottle of wine. And to lighten the mood, I smiled at him and I said, I see you're prepared for the quarantine. And he smiled back and he said to me, my wife is coming out of hospital today. And that moment made me want to cry. Like literally, I think of my parents, I think of my grandparents, I think of how wonderful they are, how hard they've worked, how they have given their lives to fight for our freedom, and how we've just thrown that away. How the concerns that we have in this day and age is what to wear, what to buy, where to go on holiday, when their childhood, their youth was spent trying not to die, trying to put food on the table. And now when we face similar circumstances without the threat of being killed by war, it's each man for themselves. Where is the human spirit? Where is humanity? Where are people helping one another? And I let this man go ahead of me in the till and I said, I hope your wife is okay. And I'm so pleased that she's come out of hospital. The thought of them having more time together, how precious life is. Like, my heart was swollen for him. And he was so happy that I let him go ahead of me in the queue. He would not stop talking, just to have that conversation with somebody. And even when he got to the cashier, he said, "This lovely young lady has let me go ahead of her in the queue." It was as if nobody had ever been generous to him. Nobody had ever given him the time. Nobody had ever given him politeness and respect. And that's what scares me, that mankind is not kind anymore. Since we have been in quarantine, rivers in Venice are running clear. They're no longer so polluted. Wildlife is flourishing. Nature is restoring itself. But why? Because the humans are not there. Because we are the disease on this planet. And we have to change. We have to look at our own actions. We may just each individually just be one person, but together we are mankind. Together we can make a difference. So look at the way the world is changing. Look at what we had and took for granted, and now what we are left with. And look at the difference between the two. This is something that will better the world, massively better the world. We need to take this as an opportunity, as a lesson learned. And the very first thing to do is to put our health first. It's not about profit, it's not about greed, it's not about convenience and disposable short-term fixes. It is the long-term greater good that we need to look toward. You look at unemployment around the world, at third world countries versus the West. People die on a daily basis because they have not eaten, because they have no access to clean water. Yet we're here stockpiling, and people will queue for 10 hours before a supermarket opens at 4 o'clock in the morning to be able to get food before others. Why have they got that urgency when they don't feel that urgency towards others that die because of this, that have no access to supermarkets? It's bizarre that one life can be more important than another, because it's not. We are all equal, whether we are humans or animals or anything. Life is life. It should be preserved. And if people find it embarrassing to talk about health, if they find it embarrassing to go to a doctor with a lump, a bump, a scratch, a smell, rather than say, "Hey, this has changed, I think it could be a problem, I think I could be sick," instead they pretend it's not happening. They bury their head in the sand. So when I speak out publicly, worldwide, about the importance of an immune system at every age, whether you're a baby, a teenager, a child, an adult, the elderly, health is everything. It always will be. You cannot buy health. When it's gone, it's gone. And you will do everything to get it back. And you can't get it back. But you can maintain what you have now before you lose it. We can increase our chances of a longer, more fulfilling quality of life. You have to make a change. You have to be responsible for your choices. You have to say, "I'm going to take the lighter option. I'm not going to just eat junk food, processed food, fatty food, salty food, sugary food. I'm going to have natural products. I'm going to support independent retailers. I'm going to take exercise. Whether it's raining or not, I do not need to drive. I do not need to be lazy. I do not need to be selfish. I do not need to be greedy. I can help others. You can give without receiving. And you will not get ahead in life by putting others down, by being cruel to people, by neglecting people, by bullying people, abusing people, or leaving people out. What good is life if you are the only person? We need people. We need family. We need friends. We need neighbours. We need the world to unite. And we can only do that by being kind, by loving and living in peace, by accepting our differences. No two people will ever be the same. And they're not supposed to be the same. We are individuals. So when I talk about something as taboo as a bodily fluid containing vitamins and minerals, boosting your immune system, some may laugh, some may be embarrassed, some may be downright nasty about it and say hurtful things and personally attack me. cannot change how people are. I can simply share how I am. And I do so with love and positivity, and I always will. And if people don't agree with that, that's fine, that's their prerogative, that's their opinion, and we are all entitled to it. But personally for me, I will block all negativity, because the way that I see life is the goodness that you put into the world is the goodness that you will be surrounded by. And you can be that change that we need. You can bring the positivity to the forefront. And when you suffer, when you hurt, when you're in pain, when the world is quarantined, unemployed, starving, we can heal from this, we can recover, we can learn and implement change to ensure that this never happens again. When people are losing jobs and businesses are closing down, we are looking at how to work remotely. We are looking at how to use technology to unite people for good, to be able to work from home, so that when you have children, you don't have to stop working, you can still pay your bills. So that when you are in the third world country, you can have classroom education without a teacher having to physically be there. So what is then to stop us to be able to educate and provide technology to the world, to countries that don't have what we have, to employ them in an office in England from the other side of the world via technology? This is a wake-up call that we can reach so many, that we can send supplies to so many, that we can help those in need, that we can create a support network of love and generosity instead of greed and hate, that we can be there for the people that need us the most and for those that we've never met but feel a love and kindness towards. When I go outside and I see the fear in people's eyes, it hurts my heart, because we are human and we shouldn't be scared like rabbits running from a fox. We should be united. We should help one another. We were all once these babies that were cuddled, that were loved and cherished and protected. At what point in our life does that protection and love and preciousness, at what point does that stop? At what point are we just a number? Are we useless and worthless to everybody? Because it's not. We are alive. And we need to start recognizing that being alive is a privilege. And so a lot of content that is online at the moment about my stance on the importance of health is either going to support me or slate me. I understand that. But actually, if you are watching this, I hope you see the bigger picture than a headline. I hope you can look inside of yourself and think, I want to be that person that makes a difference. I want to be that person that helps somebody, that puts a smile on somebody's face, that is the shoulder to cry on when they are in times of need, that brings the bread to them when they are hungry, that picks up the litter outside, that stops bad things from happening in this world. We can prevent all of this if we are just responsible, if we look inward to our own actions and make that difference. And whether or not you care about the world, whether or not you just think it's some hippie crap and alternative medicine's ridiculous, whether you just want to pump your body full of poison and drugs and eat what you want and smoke what you want and die young, that's up to you. But think of the people you leave behind. Think of your siblings, of your children, of your parents, of future generations that have to pick up the pieces around you, that have to follow on from you. What kind of legacy are you leaving behind? We are not the first on this earth, and we will not be the last. There will be good times, there will be bad. But the bad times, the setbacks, you are always bigger from the comeback. You are always stronger, you learn. You need these bad things to happen to appreciate, to wake up and recognize what you have and to be thankful. We get lost in this tiny bubble of everything we do on a daily basis that is meaningless, that's routine. We just want the biggest, best thing. But actually, we've already got that. We're alive. Turn inward and recognize what it is to be human. And then help. Help. And if you can't find it inside of yourselves to make a positive difference to the world, at least don't hurt others. So I hope in sharing this with you, my darlings, that I can make a small difference, that I can give you reassurance, that I can show you strength will come from weakness. The world is a scary place right now, but it won't always be. Together, we can make a difference. Until next time, my darlings, take care, and I will see you all soon.
If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, write me a comment, and keep watching for more.